Following Obama's statements about the party possibly moving too far to the left, and this was during a speech before liberal donors, there have been debates about whether moderate Democrats are better suited to represent the electorate as opposed to progressives. That conversation also took place on ABC's This Week over the weekend, and Rahm Emanuel was part of the discussion. Let's hear what he has to say.
I give Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders credit. They brought their A game to the policy debate. There is a history from the New Deal to the New Frontier to the New Covenant President Clinton to the One America under President Obama of respecting the value of work, shared responsibility, equal access to opportunity. And the fact is, free income, free college, guaranteed health care has walked away from the traditional value system that Democrats, the traditional liberal system, going from Roosevelt backwards. Look, Social Security, payroll tax. Medicare, payroll tax. Earned income tax credit is based on work. AmeriCorps under President Clinton is value of service to country. And that traditional argument, both Deval Patrick, Mike Bloomberg, and Barack Obama, notice have not spoken up, and all the other candidates have got to bring their A game, like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have, to the policy debate.
Wait, who was that again? That was Rahm Emanuel? Pretending as though these progressive policies are the very policies that the Democratic Party should be focusing on. I mean, he served in Obama's administration, and he did not have nice things to say about progressives. He had some pretty negative things to say, and some slurs that were used that were unacceptable. But nonetheless, I just love how politicians are gonna politician. Let's keep it real.
So no, two things happened there. The whole nice comments about Warren and Sanders bringing their A game on policy. I was like, this is a long wind up to a but. And he didn't say the word but the rest of it was in fact that, which is, but remember guys, they're doing free giveaways, which is Republican talking point 101. He's like, oh no, FDR and all those guys, they paid for it through the payroll tax. It wasn't free college education, it wasn't free this, it wasn't free that. Okay, that's my frustration with these shows. To be fair to This Week, they've had me on a couple of times, not just because it's me, but because they've had progressives on, right? But 9 out of 10 times, at least, it's wall-to-wall establishment. So there's no one there to defend Warren or Sanders. So the Republicans bash them, and then Democrats like Rahm Emanuel bash them. It's a bash fest of progressives. That's why we have a shirt on shoptyt.com that says progressives versus everybody. Because that's what it is. It's wall-to-wall conservative talking points, including from Democrats. No, Rahm, it's not free handouts. When you're talking about free college, first of all, of course we all pay for it, right? We're all part of this system. We're all part of this government. We all pay taxes. And it's not equality of results we're looking for. It's equality of opportunity. And we had that in the past in America. So the older generations got either free or nearly free public college education. And now it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. So these are ridiculous talking points. And at what part, and he says, oh, normally we do taxes. Well, what do you call the wealth tax? What do you call the financial transactions tax that both of the progressive senators are in favor of? That's called paying for it. You just don't like it because it's paying for it from your rich buddies. That's why you don't like it. So for God's sake, have some diversity of opinion there.
So there was luckily some diversity of opinion. And in this next clip, there was a brief discussion about what's influencing Elizabeth Warren's decisions to move, honestly, further to the center. And the reason why this conversation is taking place is because she just recently released her transition plan for Medicare for All. And for those of you who might have missed our story on that, she would start off with one proposal, which would be a public option. And then she says in the 3rd year of her first term, she would begin the fight for the second proposal, which is the transition to full Medicare for All. Now, I think that that is a disastrous idea. And they discuss that a little bit in this next clip. Take a look.
Now she says, no, at first, we're gonna basically pass what Pete Buttigieg, Joe Biden have been talking about, Medicare for all who want it in the first 100 days, put off the big plan for later.
I don't know where that's coming from. I do think, her trying to answer questions, be a little bit more practical, making sure that she's not giving, room for these new corporate folks to make it look like she's impractical. I think it's something she's doing. She's trying to get back into the front runner status, and in part because of what Pete Buttigieg is seeing happen with him. But I think with what Elizabeth Warren is doing, and I think it's a mistake, backing off of her position is making it so now progressives will be rallying around Bernie, and it will cause him to surge because they are still looking for someone who is going to carry that mantle, and they want that person to at least go into the presidency with a revolutionary idea, even if that means that you got to compromise it when you get into the office.
Yeah, and I kind of sorry to jump in.
Sure.
You're absolutely right. To be fair to ABC's This Week, that is a solidly progressive point. And Yvette Simpson, wonderful. Thank you for being there. Thank you for representing. And I think she's exactly right. As I see Elizabeth Warren doing that, I think, no. Okay, look, I'm supporting Bernie Sanders. I'm happy to take the support, but I don't want any progressive peeling away and going in the wrong direction, right? But I think that's a political miscalculation. So I think that I think Bernie has a much better chance of winning.
Yeah, and look, I think, and I know that we have a disagreement here, but from my read of Elizabeth Warren from the beginning, there were some questionable moments. Yes, when she released her finance plan for Medicare for All, that was a problem, right? The head tax was a problem. It was a regressive tax. So look, and then the thing that really gets to me, and I'm just gonna keep it real, she has latched onto a proposal that Bernie Sanders has written into legislation, and she's made it her own. And she makes like these declarative statements about how she's the only one who's thought about how to finance it, which is not true. She's the only one who has the most progressive transition plan for it, which is not true.
No, but guys, you can't, that's totally unfair because some of the earlier points you're making are totally fair. But you can't, either she doesn't support Bernie's plan, in which case you say, I can't believe she doesn't support Bernie's plan. Or if she does support it, you go, nah, she latched onto that plan.
No.
Take the win, take the win.
No, you're totally misunderstanding me. If you support his plan, awesome. But I do have a problem with her taking on the plan as her own, which she has done.
But then everybody criticized her for saying, well, all you have is Bernie's plan and you don't have your own plan. No, there's no winning there. I don't agree with that, but it doesn't matter, guys. I don't want you guys to miss the point. If that's 1,000,000,000% right, I mean, watching that unfold and seeing the direction that Warren is now heading towards, wow, I think Bernie now stands a really good chance of winning. I think that's a critical political miscalculation. So I got super jazzed, like, whoa, this is the day of the establishment, I don't get it. Bernie's got a real good chance.
Look, these debates about modern Democrats versus progressives can continue on in the mainstream media. But look at the polling and look at the reaction to actual progressive policies. It's a positive reaction. And I don't know, my fear is that, establishment Democrats are gonna play the same games they typically play to try to drown out his message. And that would be infuriating, and we need to fight against that. Yeah. But when it comes to what Americans are ready for, they're actually ready for progressive proposals. They're ready for Medicare for all. They're ready for free public college. They're ready to cancel student loan debt. They're ready for so much. And these neoliberal policies and these like half measures are not gonna appeal to the electorate.
Guys, look, I'm getting more excited by the second. Let me give you quotes from Deval Patrick, because this stuff's not gonna work, okay? When they asked him about Obama's comments and the party being too far left.
This is so embarrassing.
He's the former governor of Massachusetts. He said, don't put me in a box, I don't fit. By the way, and neither do most voters. In other words, I don't want to say I'm not progressive, and I don't want to say I am progressive. Oh, good night, Irene. He said, one of the most exciting things about this moment is that the public's appetite for solutions is as big as the challenges we face, is greater than it's been in a long while. What does that mean? What does that mean? It's political babble. Blah, 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 blah. What do you stand for, Deval? Governor Patrick, what do you stand for? Okay, and he said, I'm not running, my friends, to be president of the Democrats. I'm running to be president of the United States. So what is it? We're gonna reach out to Republicans? Oh, okay. And he says, I'm not talking about being woke while leaving room. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me repeat. I'm talking about being woke while leaving room for the still waking. What does that mean? Okay. Okay. So, no, in the midst. So I told you when Bloomberg came out, like these billionaires in New York think that he's such a great. It's such a great idea that the country's going to be lit on fire by a conservative Democrat who's a billionaire. And I was like, no, they're not. So new poll out with Bloomberg being in it in Iowa, 2%. Ooh, everybody's on fire. So Deval Patrick with this blah, 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 waking, woke, something. Okay, gonna go nowhere, gonna go nowhere. So with all these moderates totally flailing, here comes Bernie. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.